Hello my friends, welcome to a Get Ready With Me yet again. Let's just jump into it. I feel like I actually can't remember where I left my last Get Ready With Me, like what I talked about in that, honestly. I'm gonna start by priming with a Wet n Wild Glass Correct primer. I got a new chair and I feel like this is gonna be a real game changer for me. No more squeaky screeching when I move to the side. Oops. So I'm sure everyone will be happy about that. My face, my skin is horrible. Oh my god. I'll talk about that later, but my skin is going through it. This is probably the worst it's been since I was in high school, like a teenager. But what are you gonna do? Okay, and for foundation, I'm going to use the Covergirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. This is in the shade L10. I've recently I think I got this last week, and I have been using it. I've used it a few times, and I've actually been loving it. I definitely haven't, I feel like I haven't worn it enough like full days to really know all of its like quirks and stuff and really comment on how it wears, but I've been happy. And it looks like it was gonna be way too deep. Like in the bottle it looks like it's gonna be super dark, but I feel like it actually doesn't look too bad at all. So that's interesting. I feel like it actually reminds me a lot of the Revlon Color Stay foundation. It's one of my favorites, but it's maybe a little bit less heavy than that. It's a little bit like lighter in consistency, I feel, and maybe it doesn't have quite as much coverage, but I feel like it's not a super matte foundation. It's more of like kind of like a skin finish, especially if you have like a more hydrating primer underneath. And it's like medium coverage, I would say. But yeah, so far so good with this CoverGirl one. Alright, brow time. Get some soap in my spoolie as per usual. Run it through my brows. I wish that my brows could just magically be done. They're my least favorite part of my makeup, and I really wish that I didn't have to do them every day. While my brows set, I'm going to prime my eyes using my NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base, as always. Put a little bit of concealer on my inner corners. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Activewear, concealer. Just got that everywhere. Gonna put some Merit lip oil on. And then I'm gonna take my NYX Lift and Snatch brow tint pen and fill my brows in. I desperately need to pluck my brows, but I will not be doing that today. Okay, now let's zoom in. Do some eyeshadow. Now I am going to use the Colourpop Mandalorian palette. However, well, let's just talk about it while I do my eyeshadow. I guess I'll start with the shade Bantha Basics. Is that what it's called? Bantha Tracks. Bantha Tracks. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm just gonna run this through my crease as per usual. Not doing anything too wild and crazy anyway, but Colourpop coming out with a Harry Potter collection. Shaking my head. Blech. Just when I'm like, okay, Colourpop, like, maybe we can be friends again. Maybe I'll start to give you my money again. They just are like, LOL. Let's do a collab with a brand that gives, or not a brand, but like a franchise that gives money to an absolute horrifying turf. Oh my god. And J.K. Rowling is not even like oh, she's made some questionable comments. She is just an outspoken bigot, so, you know, that's no fun. And Colourpop's like, you know what? We will probably make a lot of money from this collab, so we celebrated Pride, everyone in the LGBTQ plus IA community. So just sit down and let us make our coin off of this Harry Potter collection that we know people are going to buy. And that's literally their response so far to people's criticism, which has been a lot, actually. I looked on their like announcement post or whatever, and obviously there were like positive comments, of course, but I feel like most of the comments are like, please don't do this, this is just not the move, it's really bad. And that was literally their response, like, we support the LGBTQIA community and this has been super highly requested, so we're doing it. It's like, oh my god, whatever. Anyway, so we'll see. I'll probably just not buy from them and not tag them, which is just annoying because Colourpop is just like kind of a fun brand sometimes because they have like more affordable makeup to buy from, and they generally have like, I don't know, more affordable makeup that has like better shade ranges and products compared to a lot of like affordable makeup that drugstore brands sell. But anyway, Colourpop remains being problematic. Surprising probably no one. Now I'm going to take the shade Mythosaur. I really like this shade a lot, actually. I think it's really cool. Speaking of what else, let's just talk about all the problematic things, I guess. Arcade Fire, my longtime favorite band. Sexual assault allegations came out against the lead singer, Win Butler, which I feel like doesn't really surprise me. You know what? Okay, I'll just try to build it up with this shade. It looked a little bit lighter than I thought, but I'm sure it'll be okay. Anyway, yeah, which is not entirely surprising. I feel like any man in Hollywood or in a band or anything, you always gotta keep an eye out because you never know what they're gonna do. So that's unfortunate. It's always just, I mean, obviously you never want to hear that anyone has like undergone harm in any way, so it's just sad for the victims. And as much as I love the band, I'm always in the boat of believing victims, so fuck Win Butler. And yeah, it's just very sad because Arcade Fire's music has meant a lot to me. I have an Arcade Fire tattoo. So, you know, super fun. But I don't know, if anyone has been in the situation where one of their favorite like bands or artists or anything, like sexual assault allegations have come out against them, how do you like deal with that? Obviously, I don't want to do anything that's gonna like directly financially benefit them going forward in the future, so like streaming and stuff we'll try to keep to a minimum, and obviously not buying like records or anything like that. But I feel like it even taints their music as well. So people and brands just stay being problematic. And it just is disappointing for, you know, everyone involved. Anyway, on that super fun, lighthearted note of this video, let's talk about me instead. I think I talked about before that I got a new job. I think I said that I got a new job, but I hadn't actually worked my job yet, obviously, because it just started this past week. But I started on Wednesday, so I've had 3 days of work, 2 days that were actually work. The first day was like an orientation day, but It's been really, really good so far. I can just feel like my whole, actually having gotten the job and gone to work for a couple days and like kind of starting to get into the routine, I just feel such a sigh of relief in my body because I just really enjoy it. It's actually very ideal for me because so far it's a job in a greenhouse, by the way, if anyone hasn't watched my other videos, but it's been really nice. First of all, everyone that I work with is so incredibly nice. Like, just everyone that I've met has been so kind, and you really, especially coming from such a toxic workplace, you just take for granted how just refreshing it is to be around people who are just nice and kind and just genuinely happy to be there and just happy to help. And you know, it's been super, super nice, and the work so far has been very manual labor, which is like what I literally signed up for. I knew that going into it, which I actually really don't mind at all. And it's basically, so far it's basically been like, okay, go and do this task. The rows are really long, so you like go clip some stuff or whatever, for example, and then you like go down the rows, so you're just working by yourself for a lot of hours, and they let you listen to like music or podcasts. So that honestly has been really nice, and I find that the days go by really fast, and I just can see myself really enjoying working there for however long it takes me to find something that's more just like career level for me. But I really like won't have a problem staying in this job for, you know, however long I'm going to need to. So that makes me so happy. I actually decreased my anxiety meds, like the dosage of it, and I'm feeling so much better just being able to have, you know, this sense of like stability, and the fact that I know I'm gonna get like regular paychecks, because it's just been, yeah, so stressful. Now I'm gonna take the shade Creed, which hopefully I can make as deep as I want it to be. This, oh my gosh, I talked about in my Blend Bunny video that I did, ooh, I don't think this is gonna be deep enough for me. I mentioned in the Primal palette first impressions that I bought the brush set from Blend Bunny, and I was like, the B1 brush, which is what this brush is, the ferrule, or like the ferrule is coming loose, and it did like actually fall off. I glued it back in and it seems to be fine just with lash glue, but I messaged them because I was like, yeah, okay. I messaged them and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I received this brush, and like after using it once, like it fell apart. And they were like, oh, so sorry about that. They sent me a new one, which was really kind of them. They were like super fast responding to my DM, and they like sent the shipment out right away. And then the new brush, which is this one that I was just using, also broke. The top is the ferrule's also loose in that one. So they said that like when they produce them, sometimes some of them don't get enough glue on them, which I totally understand. But and after I've glued it, none of the other brushes had this issue. It's just specifically the B1, and once I glued it, it's been fine. But just want to like give a little mention of that. If you were, I don't know, perhaps thinking about getting the Blend Bunny brush set, it's probably just like a specific batch, but just want to let you know. The actual brush itself, once it's all, you know, stuck together, is actually very nice. Okay, now I'm just going to put some glitter primer on my camera. Ran out of memory. Once again, I guess that's not my camera, that's my SD card, but I would love to get a new camera. That's on my list of things to save for. For my lid, I'm gonna take the shade Clan of 2 and then perhaps the shade Imperial Credit. I really don't understand any of these references. Anyway, taking Clan of 2 on the center of my lid. Ooh. That's nice, although I guess I shouldn't hype Colourpop up anymore, should I? And then taking Imperial Credit, which is just a silver. Putting that in the front part. Anyway, so basically I'm doing good, which is so nice to say after so long of being sad and depressed. And I can't wait to just have like like work there for a while and eventually just kind of get to know how things are there, you know, like it's as nice as it is, it's still always a little bit stressful when you're like new at, you know, your work and you don't like know anything. Like I really want to get to the point where I just know stuff and you just know like the way things work, where even just like where things are and like what you should be doing. But otherwise I'm happy, which is so nice. And there is something nice too. I was talking with my friend about this the other day. I don't know why my voice just cracked, about how it's nice to just be able to like clock in, clock out. Like I literally clock in, clock out, and you know, there's nothing to take home with me mentally. Like I don't have to be worried about anything when I'm not at work, like about work when I'm not at work. And there's something just very nice about that. Not again that it's like it's something that I don't know. I just feel like I was low-key traumatized by my old job, and just I think it's good for me to just have this space to work and not be worried about work when I come home. I honestly wish I had just applied for this job earlier. I mean, hindsight's 2020, truly. I just really thought that I would be able to find a job within like a couple months. But you know, that's obviously not the way things worked out for me. But you know what? Life lessons, I just sometimes wish they're just not life lessons that are always fun to learn in the moment, you know. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit and do some concealer. Again, using the Maybelline Superstay Activewear. Speaking of my skin, but from before, in the video, I think because I'm obviously working like really up close and personal with plants and stuff, I think something in the plants is fucking up my skin. After like the first 2 days, I legitimately don't know what it is, because I've been washing my face really well. Actually, the first day I didn't wash my face that well, but the second day I made sure to, and it's like the most congested I swear my skin has ever been. It was covered in like, it almost looked like a rash or like something bad was fucking happening, because it was covered in like, my whole face was covered in little tiny whiteheads, and my whole entire forehead is so congested, and I honestly did not expect that to happen at all, but it's not ideal for me. What are you gonna do? There's like literally nothing I can do. I'm definitely not gonna quit my job over the fact that my skin is bad. So, and then also take some NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, even though I'm almost done this. I need to get more, but I've been putting it off because I don't want to spend the money on it, but I'm just gonna conceal the biggest of the red spots and just, you know, just accept that my skin is just gonna be really pimply, and that's okay. At least I have a history of really bad skin, so it honestly at this point doesn't really faze me anymore. But I imagine if you had never experienced this and all of a sudden your skin started to do this, it would be a really fucking shitty time. So now I'm gonna contour using the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. In other very exciting news, I've officially caught up on Real Housewives of New Jersey. And now I just started Atlanta. My girlfriend loves Atlanta, so I'm very excited, you know, to be on this new endeavor, this new adventure. Loving it so far. It's transporting me back to 2008. Good times. And then this is new. I haven't used this yet on camera, but I feel like it's not my favorite. So I recently bought the Tower 28 Bronzino Illuminating Bronzer in the shade Suncoast. And as much as I want to like it, I feel as though this is not for me as a product. It's just very glowy and not super bronzy. I think the more I use it, the more it's growing on me. But I think I prefer it with a more matte foundation, which I think makes sense. It just, you can see like it doesn't really add, it adds a little bit of bronze, but it's more just like a glossy kind of shine. Which in some ways is really beautiful, but it's just not what I prefer. For cream blush, I'm going to use my trusty Fenty cream blush in Rosé Latte. The best. Now I'm going to do my little powder, so I'm going to take some Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. And bake with this. Then I'm just going to take some Hourglass Ambient lighting powder and brush this away. Then take some Sephora Micro Smooth Multitasking Baked Face Powder. I don't know why that took me so long to process in my brain how to read that, but I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this powder. I think I like it. It's maybe not quite as long wearing as my Stay Matte was from Rimmel, but I have been liking it. And I did wear this all day for the first time, like a full work day, and I was surprised by how much I liked it. I liked that it didn't break up throughout the day. Like it really, it didn't get gunky or anything. It just, if anything, let a bit of oil shine through, but it didn't get like overly gross. I've officially decided that my new Project Pan unofficially bronzer is going to be the NYX California Beamin bronzer, which is huge. So we'll see how long this takes me. And I really don't need that much at all. Like I take a little bit and then really tap it off. Because number one, it's way too dark, way too red, but it's also quite glowy, so. But if I use a very light hand, I do think it's nice. Just not the best shade, and it has a horrible range. It has like 2 or 3 shades. Then I'm going to take some e.l.f. Soothing Aloe Mist for my setting spray. And you know what I'm actually going to do is take a little bit more of this blush and just stipple it on my cheeks again. The only thing about that Sephora powder is sometimes I feel like it covers up my blush a little bit too much, but that's okay. I don't mind putting creams over powders if it's in small amounts. For my highlight, I actually think I'm going to use this Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in Coco Bling. Am I filming? Yes. I haven't used this in a while. I used it yesterday and I was like, you know what? This is pretty nice. Tap so much off. And if I just use a very small amount and really buff it in, it's nice. And then let's do some of this e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Rosy, because it's my new favorite. Okay, now let's finish this lower lash line up. I'm just gonna do, again, keep it pretty simple, take the shade Mythosaur, run this underneath my eyes. Then I'm gonna take Creed and deepen my lower lash line up, tie this into my outer corner, and then blend it out with the shade Bantha Tracks. Then I'm going to take the shade Besker Steel. Not sure. It's the silver. Gonna give this a little spray and highlight my inner corner with this. And then I'm going to just take that and put that on my brow bone as well. And lastly, I'm just going to take this Pat McGrath Single Black in the shade Dark Matter and use this to deepen my outer corners. Okay, and this is the finished look. On my lips, I have the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in the shade 21, which is like a cool toned brown. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me Life update. I really like this look, but you definitely don't need this palette to create this look. I mean, there's nothing that incredibly like special about it necessarily, or like unique, overly unique. It's nice, but we've already discussed Colourpop's behavior in this video, so I am definitely not being like, you need to go out and buy this palette to get this look, but I think that much can be said about pretty much any palette. Regardless, hopefully this was enjoyable. I'd love to know how you all are doing in the comments. I always literally love chatting with everyone in the comments, even if I don't get to your comment right away. I apologize, but I do read them all and will eventually respond. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I upload 3 videos a week if you want to stick around. And I would love to see you in my next one. Bye.